My minimalist journey started more than 10 years ago, and since then I decluttered more than 80% of my closet. And that has worked for me for a really long time, but in the last 2 years I also started tracking my wardrobe, and that opened my eyes even more, and I realized of how little I wear certain items, and that as majority of people I pretty much wear my favorites on repeat. So with this realization came the idea to try an extreme minimalist wardrobe for 1 month to see how it feels. Does my life, shopping and style improve, or does it get worse? What are the benefits? What are the downsides? All of that. And as always, I'm of course sharing all of my lessons with you. When it comes to the selection process, I decided to go through all of my items to eliminate all of the obvious no's, and all of my potential pieces I put on my trusting clothing rail. I have to admit this was really fun at first, but then I quickly realized how hard it's gonna be to narrow everything down. Luckily, I already mentally picked some items using my tracking app, and I must admit this made the whole process a lot easier and quicker. So my tip here would be to use an app if you have it, or if not, a piece of paper, to roughly pick some items, because the day of building the extreme wardrobe can get a bit overwhelming. Now when it comes to the rules of the challenge, I decided to pick 10 items for my main capsule wardrobe, so all of my tops, bottoms and dresses are included in here. And then to have more variety, I also have 10 items in my bags, shoes, jackets and accessories. And now to the hardest part. After I narrowed down my selection, I had to fold and organize all of my other items, and this was such a long and tedious process. Luckily, I prepared for this and I did a huge wash in the days before, so everything would be ready for storage. But in spite of that, it took me ages to go through everything. And as you can see, I decided to use my bottoms drawer as an extra storage, and I put as much as I could in there. But then I also had to use other drawers in my home, as finding storage was a lot more challenging than I thought. Then I also went through my out of season storage because I needed a few pieces for my challenge, and then of course I filled it up with the rest of my stuff. And now here is my final selection. I have to admit this was so hard, much harder than it looks, but hopefully I did an amazing job. I have loads of long sleeve t-shirts, which worries me a little bit because I know it's gonna get really hot soon, but my thinking was I would rather be too hot than too cold. So this is my selection up top, and as I'm gonna show you my outfits, you're gonna see these pieces in more detail. As for my bottoms, I have 4 pieces that I'm really happy with. I have black skinny jeans, black joggers, denim skirt and medium wash skinny jeans. And then for my accessories, I have 2 belts. So this is my final closet for the next month. And now it's of course time to repeat the same process with my downstairs closet. As I said, I allowed myself 10 extra pieces. For my accessories, I picked the 2 belts you've just seen. And then for my jackets, I decided to go for 3 items: black oversized blazer, a denim jacket, and black wool coat for those colder days and mornings. Then for my bags, I knew I wanted 1 black and 1 colorful bag. For the black version, I picked the crossbody one because it's very versatile. And then for the colorful one, I was really debating between the coral and the pink one. And then when it comes to shoes, I knew I wanted to have 3 pairs in different styles and different colors so I can easily change the vibe of my outfit. And the selection here was very easy. I picked white sneakers, nude ballerinas, and faux leather ankle booties. In this closet, you can also see some of my sporty items such as trainers and a vest, but these don't really count as I only wear them when exercising. And lastly, I want to mention that when it comes to my jewelry, I gave myself no limits whatsoever because I have an instinct I'm gonna need jewelry to spice up my outfits and not get bored. It's been more than a week, which means I can give you my first weekly check-in. And as I'm talking about my experience, I'm also going to show you all of my outfits that I've been wearing lately on the screen so you can see for reference. But pretty much I'm going to start with day 1 and I'm going to go through all of my highs and my lows. So on day 1, I experienced a little bit of a high. I was feeling excited about this experiment. And when I opened my closet, I felt like I was on vacation because the only time I had such a tiny closet in my life was when I was traveling, so I think my mind just took me there and I was feeling really free and excited. But then on day 2 I experienced my first slow, which I didn't expect it to happen so soon. But to be completely honest, I'm gonna be vulnerable and I'm gonna tell you that when I opened my closet on day 2, I actually felt sad and empty, which was such a shock to me. I didn't even realize the closet is gonna have such a huge effect on my emotional state, but you know, that's what happened. And to be fair, since then this feeling really dissipated. But my idea of why this happened is I was probably grieving the old closet that I don't have anymore. Even though I still own all of the pieces, my mind was just kind of processing the change that I was going through and almost grieving that I don't have as many choices and as many options as before. This is my best guess because, like I said, now I feel a lot more adjusted. And this feeling, like I said, lasted for a little bit. I remember on day 2, 3, 4, 5, it was kind of really strong. And then slowly it started shifting. And then on day 7, I finally started to feel a little bit normal with my closet again. It's almost like my brain finally accepted that this is my new normal closet. So this is the emotional side of everything. And if this is the beginning, I don't want to know what lies ahead of me. But yeah, this week was crazy. But then when it comes to practical side, I realized the first thing that it's very positive is that my closet, it's even easier to take care of and maintain than ever. Yes, I had to do a little bit more laundry with small little laundry piles, but it was very easy to do everything. Even in my downstairs closet, it's so easy to put stuff back in. It's so easy to know what I have. It's amazing. So that's the practical plus. But then I also have the downside when it comes to practical side, and that is that I felt deprived and like I don't have the right options for the weather or lifestyle situations. Because we're in spring and it's the transitional season, the weather is changing all of the time, and because I have a small selection, I'm feeling just a little bit limited. And sometimes I have to pick between being cold in the morning but then perfect throughout the day, or a little bit too hot throughout the day and perfect in the morning. So that's another layer to this. I think if I would be doing this in the winter or in the summer, I wouldn't be having this particular challenge, but because I'm going through the transitional period, I do. And now we're in week number 2, and I'm happy to report that this one was a lot less emotional than the previous one, but I still have some amazing lessons here. And also I want to mention that in case you see the little spots on my forehead, that happened because of my self-tanner spray mist. So yeah, that's a thing apparently now. I hope I'm rocking it. But now if I go back to the lessons, I have everything written down here. The first major thing that I noticed is, like I said, previous week I was feeling a little bit down with my closet, but this week I was actually having fun combining new pieces out of my capsule wardrobe. I almost made it a challenge for myself to try as many new outfit combinations as I possibly can. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I mentioned before, my closet is very easy to keep clean and tidy. That's amazing. And then the third thing is that I'm starting to feel a sense of pride and accomplishment because I'm actually wearing my items a lot. I didn't even realize, but when we spend money on our items and we don't wear them, subconsciously we kind of feel we wasted our money. But now that I just have a few items that I wear on repeat, I'm kind of feeling okay, I'm getting my money's worth, and I just feel so accomplished in a way. And then the fourth thing is that I finally started to get the hang of everything, and I know how to combine all of these pieces so they are appropriate for the weather and practicality, so that's good. It was kind of a little bit of a learning curve for me, but then at the same time I also realized that when I was picking all of these pieces, I picked a lot of similar items. With my skinny jeans I have 2 of the same design in just 2 different colors, or with my tops I have this one that is long sleeve top, I have the nude one that is long sleeve top, and I have a white one that is a long sleeve top. So I have 3 pieces that are the same design, the same style, just in different colors. And that was kind of a mistake on my part because it doesn't feel like I'm really having a lot of a different vibe to my outfit. So if I would do my closet again, I would do it a little bit differently. And also what I realized is that I have too many long sleeve tops based on the weather. So I'm gonna make one change because there is no need for me to force myself to suffer through this challenge. So I'm gonna change my white long sleeve top with just a regular short sleeve top because I just need it because it's so hot. And now with the week 3 ending, I have even more lessons, and I swear every week I learn so much and I'm so excited that I did this challenge. But with this week, what I learned is the first thing. I talked about the sense of accomplishment in my last check-in, but with this week I really realized how powerful this emotion is, and this will forever change how I see my closet, because now that I actually wear my items frequently, something in my head just slowed down. I almost get a lot more peace of mind because I'm actually wearing my items. I don't have the guilt of wasting my money. I feel a sense of pride and accomplishment, and it's just such a good feeling. And I didn't even realize my closet before was subconsciously giving me a little bit of the stress, because a lot of my pieces I only wore once or twice a year, and for my brain that was not good enough. So this is a huge lesson. Then when it comes to the practical side, this week the weather took a complete 180 and it was raining, it was cold. It's still cold today. Tomorrow it's gonna change again, but this week was a little bit boring for me because when it's that cold, there is only pretty much one outfit formula that I wear: my jeans with my long sleeve tops, and that's it. So this week was kind of gloomy and boring. But what I realized, because I'm wearing all of these outfit formulas on repeat, is that I started paying more attention to my hair, to my nails. I'm kind of painting them a little bit more colorfully this month, so that's a surprise. And then also I'm paying more attention to my jewelry. I always make sure to accessorize so I elevate my outfit. And then the last thing that I realized is that this week something in me shifted, and I'm now at a point where I know going forward my closet is gonna be different, because I'm not gonna have that many pieces in my closet, because I see the correlation between stress and peace of mind and how much I need to maintain my closet and the amount of stuff that I have. So after this challenge is over, I'm gonna do a good ruthless declutter, and then I'm gonna build a summer capsule wardrobe that is just gonna be a lot smaller than it usually is. So far, what I'm learning is absolutely life-changing. I'm pretty much on the journey, as you see week through week what I'm going through. But I would also like to know, because I know a lot of you joined me in this challenge, so if you have any of your own lessons, please let me know in the comments down below. I am so curious, because I feel this is so fascinating of how our closet is influencing us. So if you have any lesson experiences, leave me a comment down below. And also, as always, if you're enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you. And now it's the final week, and I cannot believe this challenge is over. It feels like just yesterday I was setting everything up. But when it comes to the lessons this week, I have to admit I didn't learn anything new. But then at the same time, all of my lessons from before, they kind of solidified for me this week, and I'm now taking them really seriously. So now, of course, I'm gonna give you my final thoughts. And the first question that I want to answer is, would I do this challenge again? And the answer is absolutely yes, because I find it so life-changing, and I know that's a bold claim, but it truly changed how I see my closet, my style. And as I said before, the correlation between peace of mind and stress, and how much work I need to do to maintain my closet, and the quantity of items that I have, it's really direct. And now that I see that, everything is transformed. So if you want to change your relationship with shopping and style and closet and minimalism, all of that, give it a go. I'm sure you're gonna learn something valuable. But one tip I want to give you here, because this was my biggest mistake that I made: don't just pick different colors, but also pick different silhouettes. Because as I said before, I had 2 pairs of skinny jeans and 3 pairs of long sleeve tops. And even though I was switching things up, and as you've seen with all of my outfits, I don't think I ever repeated my outfit once, because, you know, that was an extra challenge I gave to myself. So obviously I had a lot of combinations, but because I had the same silhouettes and designs, sometimes it didn't even feel like I'm wearing different outfits. So if I would have something like white black pants, for example, everything would just look a little bit more fun and interesting. Or if I would have a cardigan instead of a long sleeve top, that would make things interesting as well. So that's just an extra piece of advice. And lastly, let's talk about the downsides. I really only have one, and that is that when you have a really tiny wardrobe, you're gonna feel limited. That's just what's gonna happen. If the weather changes, your mood changes, or you have a certain event, you just don't have that variety to spice things up. And for me, as I said, this was a little bit annoying sometimes. On some days, I just felt a little bit meh about my outfit, because I knew I wanted to wear something different. So as a 1 month challenge, this was absolutely amazing, but I could not do it for longer, not even 2 months. I know some people do it for entire seasons, maybe 3 months and even up to 6 months, and I'm not sure how they do it, because for me, I personally need my options to express myself and to match my outfits to my mood. Obviously, when I say a little bit more variety, I don't mean a huge closet, just a little bit more than 10 pieces, because luckily, even by decluttering our closet and simplifying everything, we can make our lives so much better. So if you want to learn more about that, I have a video about 7 common problems we can solve by decluttering our closet, and I will link it here so you can watch it next. Thank you so much for stopping by today, and I will see you next time.